Hey, what's up, you guys? Raylo here from KidneyPuncher.com, here to bring you another review. Today, we're going to be talking about the Kangertech DripBox 160W kit. And yes, this is a squonker. You know what a squonker is? Well, I'm going to tell you about it. But first, let's go ahead and dive down up close, take this thing out of its box, show you all the pieces, take this thing apart, show you how it works, and we'll be right back. All right, you guys, so here we are in up close mode with the DripBox 160 Starter Kit by Kangertech. So this is the box that it comes in. It's actually quite a nice box. You can see here on the side it says TC 160 watt, MTL, and DL. This stands for mouth to lung and direct lung for the way that you can hit it. On the back, you got a list of your contents, some cautions, some colors, and a bunch of other mumbo jumbo down here. And then you have your authentication right here at the bottom. Same thing on this side. Now, let's go ahead and open this box up the way it does, just like so. And looky what we got here. So, here's the white version. It comes wrapped in plastic. But first, let's go ahead and see what kind of extras they give you in the DripBox 160 accessory kit. So, here we go. What you can see here is you have a second bottle that comes for your device, which is quite cool. If you take a look at this bottle, so this is another 7ml squonker bottle for you, and it also comes with a cap, so you could take this on the go. You can go ahead and fill this thing up with your favorite juice and just pop it in your pocket, and when you're ready to change out your other one, just slap this one in there, replace this top piece, and you're good to go. Comes with your micro USB cord for charging. It also comes with a replaceable head. Yes, you get two different types of replaceable heads. Let me go ahead and remove this one from the package and show you what it looks like. So here's the second head that you can put in your RDA. Comes pre-wrapped and pre-wicked, and this one comes with two post holes. Let me go ahead and remove this cotton and give you a closer look at what this looks like. All right, so here's a closer look at the replaceable deck that they give you. This is the 2-post 2-hole deck, and this comes with two 1.5mm post holes. And it is tightened down with Phillip head screws, which you see right there. And it comes with what looks like 24 gauge China wire. I'm not exactly sure what this is, and it doesn't tell you anywhere on the box. Take a look down here at the bottom. You can see you have your, I'm guessing this is gold plated, possibly just brass, but this is what's going to make connection in your RDA to your 510 pin to give you power. You can see one portion is insulated while the other one is not. They also give you a bag of cotton. I'm guessing this is Japanese cotton. Looks like a little square pad of cotton for you. You also get an Allen tool to loosen and tighten your screws on the Velocity style deck that comes in the other head, which we will see shortly. We also have our bag of goodies. Let me open this up and show you what it comes with. So you also get this spit-back protection ring that goes inside your RDA. Not too much of a fan of this, but we'll talk about that later. It also comes with two clapped-in coils, as well as 4 replaceable grub screws. All right, enough of the extras. Let's go ahead and talk about the device itself. You can see here this is the white version. What you saw first was the black version, but we're going to go ahead and discuss the white version. So of course, here's the front. You have your power button, you have your screen, you have your up and down buttons, and you have your USB port. Right here on the side, you could see the Kangertech logo, and you got some battery venting here and here, and also the same on the other side. When you look here on the back, you could see you have your squonking bottle right down here at the bottom. Nice little, easy to press little bottle right there. And right here at the top, you have the Kangertech RDA that comes with your device. Let's go ahead and show you the bottom first. So down here at the bottom, you can see designed and manufactured by Kanger. And this is how you access your batteries. So you just pull that, pops right open. And if you take a look, you can see you have a minus and you have a plus on both of these terminals. So it makes it very easy for you to use and know that you're putting your batteries in the correct way. Now to access your squonk bottle for filling and refilling, all you have to do is just pop this piece off. It's held on by 2 magnets and the bottle itself just pulls right on out. So here's your bottle. It's empty at the moment, but that's pretty much all it is. You fill this bad boy up and you slide it right on in. And you can see here, this is for squonking. So this straw comes down and you can see there's holes right there, and that's where your juice sucks right up into this tube and goes all the way down. You could see there's like a kind of like an O-ring there at the top, and that seals your bottle to your device. So to install this, once you fill it up with juice, all you have to do is just pop it right in there in the straw, push it until it makes contact at the top, take this piece, pop that on, and you're good to go. Now let's talk about the RDA. All right, so here's the RDA that comes with your Kanger drip box. You can see the Kanger logo, and right here at the top you see MTL, that stands for mouth to lung. So that's your mouth to lung opening, and that measured out to about 1.5 millimeters. Then on the side you have two big Cyclops style holes. You have one there and one there, and those measured out to 11 millimeters by 1.5 millimeters. And then on the back side you have a second mouth to lung hole. All right, now let's talk about the drip tip. So the drip tip that comes with this RDA, I want to say it's Delrin, but I'm not too sure. It almost looks like it might just be a hard plastic. But the drip tip, the inner diameter, measured out to 11 millimeters. Then you pull this off and you can see you have your two slots for your airflow, and it is held on by those two O-rings. So here's the barrel to the RDA. You can see it is fairly thin, so it does heat up pretty quick when you have a hot build in here. So now let's go ahead and take a look at this deck. So the Velocity style one comes with your two pre-made Clapton coils, and it is also wicked. Let me go ahead and pull the cotton out of this real quick so you can take a closer look at this build deck. So as you can see here, you have your Velocity deck. These posts are spaced about 7 millimeters from one another, from post hole to post hole. And if you haven't seen a Velocity style deck before, this comes with two post holes on both posts, and it is tightened down with Allen grub screws right here on each individual side. Now you can see in there you got plenty of these little holes, and you got two holes right there in the center. But let's go ahead and switch over to the black one real quick. We'll go up close and I'll show you how the squonking feature works. When you squeeze the bottle, it'll show you how the juice comes up through all of those holes. So let's do that right now. All right, so let me show you how this works. So basically you push your bottle down here at the bottom, and if you see, juice will come up in all those holes. You let it go, sucks it right back down. So the vacuum inside the bottle lets it come in and drop right out. And also, just to let you know, these post holes also measured out to 1.5 millimeters in diameter. And like you saw, since this does come with a replaceable deck, the way that you do this is you just unscrew the current one. So this just unscrews. The bottom looks very similar. And then if you look in here, you could see where your 510 pin comes up and makes connection with the bottom of your coil head. And it's hard to show you in here, but if you look, you could see the hole right there on the side of that 510 pin, and that's where the juice comes up and gets into your deck. And the barrel for your RDA is held on by 3 O-rings, so these barrels hold on very, very tight. So now you're taking a look at the bottom of the RDA, and they're calling it the Subdrop. You can see there is a hole right through your 510 pin, and that is also a gold-plated 510 pin. So let's go ahead and take a look at the top here. As you can see, there's a hole running through your 510. Of course, that's where the juice comes up to get to your RDA. Now, this is not spring-loaded, nor is it adjustable, so you are going to want to make sure that you're paying attention to what kind of device you're using and how long or short that 510 pin is to make sure that it makes connection with your drip box. All right, so I've switched over to the black one now to go over the menu functions and the screen and all the goodies that come with it. So now it's off. If I press the button, it'll clearly tell you that it's off. But now let's go ahead and turn it on. Should just take 5 clicks of the button, so let's do that now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You see the Kangertech logo pop up, and here's your initial screen. So what you're looking at here is you have your wattage, you have your resistance there at the top, your voltage at the bottom, and your battery bar. To turn your device back off, it's as simple as 5 clicks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's back off. Now to access the temperature control mode, all you need to do is 3 clicks. 1, 2, 3, takes you into nickel mode first, then 1, 2, 3, takes you into titanium mode, 1, 2, 3, takes you into nichrome mode, which nichrome's not really a temperature control wire, so I'm not exactly sure where they added it, but let's keep going on. Then 1, 2, 3, and that takes you into stainless steel mode. Press it 3 more times, 1, 2, 3, and that takes you right back into wattage mode. Now, one thing when you're in temperature control mode is you cannot change your wattage. It automatically goes to 160 watts, but you can change your temperature. And temperature on this ranges from 200 to 600 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, if you wanted to go into Celsius, you just have to go all the way down. And once you go down, it automatically takes you into Celsius. To go back into Fahrenheit mode, same thing, go all the way down. And now you're back into Fahrenheit mode. Now to flip the screen, it's as easy as holding your plus and minus buttons. So hold those two down, and you've now flipped your screen. Just hold them down again, and you're back. Now there's also another thing that I found on here that I thought was interesting, and I would share it with you guys. So if you hold the plus and the power button at the same time, it reverses your screen. So now it is a white screen with black, showing you all of your numbers. And of course, to go right back, you hold the plus and the power button, and now you're back to normal. Now, if you want to lock your device, actually the only thing you can lock is your plus and minus. If you want to lock the whole thing, you got to turn it off. So to lock this device, you hold all three buttons at the same time. And now it is locked. Fire button still works, but the up and down or plus and minus buttons do not. Hey, and I just found its serial number. Didn't even know how to do that. Don't know how I could do that again. Let's see. Oh. So I just kept pressing the up and plus and minus button, and hey, look at that. We just found something out together. Right on. But there you go, you guys. So that's about all the functionality that I could find. Maybe there's some more. Maybe you guys will find some. If you find some with these, go ahead and post them down in the comments below. But there you go for the up close with the Kanger DripBox 160 watt. Let's go ahead and go back into FaceTime. We'll talk about it, vape on it. All right, you guys, so we're back from up close mode. Let me go ahead and take a quick vape on this and show you how it performs. Right now I'm vaping it at 0.32 at 85 watts. So of course, as you can see, this does produce ample clouds for a squonking device. Plus, hey, it's a 160 watt device, so you can build all the way up to 160 watts. But first, before we go on any rants or I talk about anything else, let's talk about some specs. So first and foremost, this is a 160 watt device. So it goes all the way down to 7 watts, all the way up to 160 watts. But I do want to show you something that I kind of found comical. I was watching the Vaping Bogan earlier on his review of this, and he pointed it out because I never really read these instruction manuals because, hey, I'm a guy. We don't really read things, right? But that's why we're watching videos, because this will teach you about it. But here, let me show you. So if you take a look there, sorry, my lights are really bright, but where it says max output, it says 7 to 200 watts. Yeah, Kanger, this is actually a 160 watt box mod. So yeah, it doesn't actually do 200 watts, people. So shout out to the Vaping Bogan for pointing that one out because I kind of found that funny. Now this device is made out of a zinc alloy, except for the actual RDA, which is stainless steel. As I said in up close, the temperature range goes from 200 degrees Fahrenheit to 600 degrees Fahrenheit. And to get into Celsius mode, you go all the way down, and that puts you into Celsius mode. This is a squonker. Now, a squonker is a bottom feed device. You have your squonker bottle here. You squeeze it. It pushes juice up to your RDA. No tank necessary. The squonker bottle holds 7 mils of juice, and you get 2 of those. So technically, if you're on the go, you can carry 14 mils of juice without having to carry a bottle around with you. The RDA can be rebuilt, or you can also buy pre-made, pre-wicked, and pre-coiled pieces that actually go, I guess you'd call them coil heads, that screw right into the deck of this RDA. This does require 2 18650 batteries. They do not come included with this device. And last but not least, this RDA is 22 millimeters in diameter. And the holes that are on the deck, since this is not your typical squonker deck because it has all those holes around the side plus the 2 in the middle. So the 2 in the middle were measured out at 2 millimeters, and all of those little ones along the side were about 1 millimeter each. The overall build deck space that you have in these devices measured out to 18 millimeters. And colors, you get silver, black, and white. So that's it for the specs. Let's go ahead and talk about the pros and the cons. So first, let's talk about the pros, since this does have many pros. Now, if you've never used a squonker or a bottom-fed RDA and mod device? Well, let me tell you, these are exceptional. Ease of use, having the dripper experience, because of course this is still an RDA, this is still a dripper, and having your juice come right down here from the bottom where all it takes is just a little squeeze, and you're squeezing juice right in there. So you don't have to worry about opening up a bottle and dripping. If you're driving, these are great travel devices. If you don't like using tanks, this right here is perfect for that. So that is a huge pro to me. The shape and design of this mod is very similar. Yes, you've probably seen this before. It's the same as like the Rouleau or the RX200 and the Triade. As a matter of fact, I got the Triade right here, so let's compare the two. So if you look, they're both right around the same height, and they're right around the same even on the bottom. The only difference is it's a little bit more rounded on the DripBox than it is on the Triade. But overall, they're about the same size. So if you've ever used one of those style of devices, you'll be very familiar with this shape. So to me, kind of a pro. The fact that this is a dual battery squonker. There's not many dual battery squonkers out there, especially at this low price point, which most Kanger products come in. So that to me is also a big pro. The fact that this goes up to 160 watts is another big pro for me. I really do like that. So you guys that like your high wattage vape, you can do that with this and still get decent battery life. Another pro to me is all of those holes inside the RDA that this comes with. So you get ample juice going to your wick every time you squeeze that bottle. Speaking of the bottle, the fact that it comes with that second bottle that actually has a sealable top on it that you can interchange between those two, I also think is a big pro. I also like the screen. I think the screen is nice. It's easy to read, and the functionality of it, it's very simple. There's no confusing things to go through to access your temperature control mode, to lock and do all of those things like you saw up close. I like the battery door. I like how easy it is. It just pops right out with the easy latch and just clicks right back into place. Another big pro. All right, so that's it for the pros. Now let's go ahead and talk about some of the cons. So first con I have with this device is the fact that it's lacking a spring-loaded 510 pin. I would like to see it spring-loaded, which would make it more compatible with all the different devices out there, even if you didn't want to use this as a squonker, which I'm not sure exactly why you wouldn't, but the option's there if you wanted to use this with other devices. But not having a spring-loaded pin, I would have liked to see that instead. Another con to me is where the actual like squonk bottle goes in. These magnets, they're not very strong. If you happen to drop this, this will just pop off really easy. So I do wish they would have maybe used some stronger magnets on this, but I mean, it still functions and it works really well, and I haven't had it fall off on me, but I could tell, you know, if it hit something hard enough, this could go flying. So another con to me was the mount to lung option. So it comes with two of those 1.5 millimeter holes, and in all honesty, that's more of a restricted lung hit than it is a mount to lung hit. I think if they would have offered you a single coil option to where you could only have one open, you would have actually had a true mount to lung experience. But since they have two and there's no way to go single coil on this, I have to give that a con. And then my last con, which is not necessarily really a con, it's more of an aesthetic thing for me, but because they put the 510 on the edge, which I understand they have to do that because of the squonk and how everything lines up, but all that retail space that you have here on the top of the device, it would have been nice like how the Triade kind of centers it so you could use 25, 24, and 30 millimeter devices and it would still not have an overhang. Where this one, since it's only 22 millimeters, I'll show you. So with the Tsunami, which I reviewed recently, when you screw this on there, you do get a little bit of a lip. You get a little bit of overhang. So that could also be a con. All right, so that's it for the pros and the cons and the specs. Let me go ahead and take another quick vape. So overall, I've actually really enjoyed this device. It works really well for what it is. If you're into big clouds and big lung hits, this is going to be a good fit for you. if you like that RDA experience and you're displeased with a lot of the tanks that are out on the market, or you just don't want to bother with the tank, this is definitely going to do it for you. So you do get the dripper flavor, you do get the dripper clouds, you have that nice airflow, you have a nice wide bore drip tip, and you get up to 160 watts of power. So that to me makes this device well worth it. Plus, it's really inexpensive. It's not going to be like some $100, and a lot of other squonking devices tend to always be in that higher end range where you're paying a couple $100 for these. This is right around that $60 mark. That is big for me. That is a huge plus. It makes it more accessible to more people. So you don't have to worry too much about the whole vape budget hand thing, because now you can get your RDA and you can get your device for a very inexpensive price. Plus, with the ease of use and the way that the menu options go, I really don't have too much that I can complain about. I have been using this device heavily, and I can guarantee you this is going to stay in rotation with me for quite some time. This might even make me a believer in squonkers, because this, in all honesty, is one of the first squonkers that I've actually owned and used. I've tried other ones in the past, but I was turned off by the price. This, you get the whole thing, other than the batteries and the juice, you just can't beat it. So there you go, you guys. That was my review on the new Kanger DripBox 160W box mod kit. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Maybe you learned something, maybe you didn't. If you have any questions, make sure you post them down below in the comments, and I'll get to you as soon as I possibly can. But for now, this is where the video ends, so thank you guys so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. And as always, vape on. All right, you guys, so welcome to the up-close build tutorial section of this video. Let's go over some of the tools that we're going to use to rebuild this RDA. So we're going to be using our Coil Master ceramic tweezers, a Coil Master jig kit, Coil Master scissors, the Coil Master precision snips, some cotton bacon version number 2, and I pre-wrapped some coils with 24 gauge Nichrome 80, of course, kidney puncher wire. So first things first, I have 10 wraps on a inner diameter of 3 millimeters for this coil, and easily all you do is just unscrew your grub screws, insert into the top, and one into the bottom. Just like so, and it should be sitting nice and comfortably to the post. So let me go ahead and tighten these down, and we'll be right back. So once you have your coil installed, next step is to cut your leads off to use our precision snips. So get as close as you can to that post and snip it away. Now the beauty of a velocity style deck. Now we got our other coil since our first one has been installed, and these just go in the opposite holes. As easy as that. So let me go ahead and tighten these down. We'll be right back. So this is what it should look like once it's installed. Everything should be lined up perfectly, perfect distance from the post and from the deck. Now let's go ahead and get our ceramic tweezers, dry fire these coils, and make sure we get rid of all the hot spots. So now we got our ceramic tweezers, and make sure you use ceramic tweezers for this step. If you don't have ceramic tweezers, then do not touch your coils while you're firing them. You can heat them up and then use your metal tweezers or needle nose pliers or whatever you're using after that, but never fire while you're doing this unless using ceramic tweezers. So just go ahead and squeeze your coil and kind of start pulse firing a little bit. You want to make sure you strum your coils. This also helps to get everything nice and even. So now I got these firing nice and even. Let's go ahead and give it a pulse and show you. So that's what you're looking for. You want it to heat from the middle out. So now let me let this cool off, and we'll come back and show you how to wick. So I went ahead and pre-cut my wick. And what you want to do is twist one end nice and tight so it makes it easier to feed through your coil. And just pull it through until you get a decent amount of tension. You don't want it to be too tight in there, but you definitely don't want it to be too loose. Just like this. So let me go ahead and install the other one, and we'll be right back. All right, so we got both of our coils nice and wicked. Next step is we want to cut our cotton. Now you don't need too much cotton since this is a squonker, so we're gonna cut right about there. I don't know, probably about a couple millimeters off the actual base of the deck. All right, so now that we got our wick all nice and cut, Now you want to take whatever tool you want to use for this and just lightly stuff your wick inside the juice well. So this is what it should look like once it's all wicked up. And one thing I like to do is make sure I always leave room underneath the coils for airflow to circulate all the way around my coils. And you definitely don't want to block those two center holes where your juice comes up. And of course, to juice it, all you got to do is just squonk that juice right on up. Do that a couple times if you want, or you can go ahead and just take your juice and saturate your coils. But do make sure that you saturate your coils. So now I have my coils and all of my new fresh wick nice and saturated. Let's go ahead and see how she fires. Alright, so we got vapor. So there you go, you guys. That was the quick build tutorial on the Kanger DripBox kit and the RDA that comes with it. So hopefully you guys found this informative. Maybe you learned a thing or two, but this is where we need to part ways. So thank you guys so much for watching. Really do appreciate it. And as always, vape on.